What is going on, YouTube? Pass the Prop is back. We got NBA today. We're rolling with you guys on a 7-8 gamer tonight. Joined as always by my guy Stu. What's good, man?
Yeah, I mean we got a pretty solid slate going today. A little bit of NBA action. I know you have all these random conference tournaments with teams that I've never heard of before squaring off. So a lot of good action for all of us degenerates out here. And yeah, I'm ready to go. Obviously we got some injury news kind of trickling in, so that's gonna be a little bit of a bummer for certain spots, but still think we got some good angles for today's slate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's conference tournament time. We got a lot of stuff to talk about there, but that's why we do the YouTube play of the day. We're not bringing that over here today. Already have my play out there, so we're gonna roll with an NBA spot tonight. And like you said, decent slate, not the best, not the worst. Just hoping this injury bug can get away from me, man. I will go into my game from last game. We got Jalen Johnson getting hurt, AD cashed. Jalen Johnson had 4 rebounds in 18 minutes. We're on pace. I know he's out tonight again. They're only 3-point favorites against a team with like 3 NBA players on it, and if that doesn't tell you how bad this Hawks team is at this point, I don't know what does.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it before. I mean, I know there's a day of rest still, but they played the back-to-back earlier in this week. It feels like we're in like a real ugly stretch of basketball right now, where there's a lot of teams just kind of grinding along, and I think that's making for some weird spreads and stuff. But I completely agree. Definitely an interesting one. Obviously, the injury bug is kind of, hitting us all at this time of year, which is a little bit brutal. I had Anthony Edwards first quarter yesterday. Obviously gets hurt on the first play of the game, then comes back in a little bit later, but you're not going to, sink 5 buckets after coming back from twisting your ankle. So it's always nice to immediately lose a bet as soon as the game starts. Good way to get the juices flowing for the rest of the night.
Yeah, no, he obviously showed out. Obviously that block at the end of the game was really going viral there. And I don't know if you saw the tweet. I don't know what it was. There was a guy quote tweeting. He's like, nobody's got this type of vert in 1994, bro. And it was like Anthony Edwards smashing his head on the freaking backboard. Crazy, obviously, tough news for them with no Towns as well. So it's going to be a tough spot. Definitely probably going to be falling to like the 3 or 4 seed in the West. And pretty much probably killing their chances at making a deep run.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they just have no depth. You know what I mean? It's like you bring in a little bit more of the bench guys. Who's left? The bench was already in rough shape. You know what I mean? I know they added like the Monty Morris at the deadline, but like the guy could barely crack the rotation with the Pistons. You know what I mean? And now he's out as well. Like Walker Alexander is a good defender, but like on offense, he's kind of giving you nothing. Anderson kind of giving you nothing. It's one of those things that like once we get to the playoffs, and everyone just locks in on Anthony Edwards, it's just going to be brutal. Like, who is Rudy Gobert going to start scoring 25 points a night? I guess he's going to have to. The Mike Conley pick and roll is going to have to start looking a lot like 2013 and a lot less like 2024. So it's kind of just a rough break for that team. And obviously anyone that has some good futures numbers is feeling pretty rough right now.
Yeah, kind of gross for that team offensively. Obviously still great defensively when you got Ant Conley and obviously probably defensive player of the year and Gobert back there. Shout out to him, man. The dude's finding a way. So he put up 20 and 15 in one of those games back there, but it's just tough because, I mean, he just lives on offensive glass. So it's like, what if you have a guy who spreads them out or just is able to defensive rebound average? Yeah, you kind of kill one of their biggest pieces of offense, which is really, really sad.
Yeah, 100%. Not a team I was ever really looking to bet in the playoffs, to be completely honest. But now that you take out Cat, that's just one less scoring option, one less guy that can get hot. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how it kind of affects them in the regular season. I know that'll be something we got to follow over these next couple of games for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got 15 of you guys in here live. First couple minutes trickling in. Appreciate you. Hit that like button if you could. Going on to Stu's play from last week as well. Our last show did cash. I did throw it in with my boys from Merrimack. Those boys ended up coming through. So happy we were able to cash that one. Merrimack made us sweat a little bit, but it still ended up winning by like 8. So not too shabby, but that got us down to that minus 125. So if you did throw that in there for a juice reducer, either way, you're cashing. So love to see it.
Yeah, no, Caruso is easy, just doing Caruso things. It's funny. I always want to go back to the well, but yesterday they were playing the Warriors. That's kind of like the most brutal matchup possible because one, you get Steph Curry as a starter. I mean, it's Steph Curry. You're not like stripping the guy like it's nothing. It's not Colin Sexton out there like we had the night before. And then off the bench, it's Chris Paul, who turns the ball over less than any point guard ever. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like had to take a day off my guy Caruso, but I'm sure tomorrow when the Bulls, get locked and loaded, we'll be right back on the bandwagon because that guy is money.
Yes, sir. Shout out Vooch for continuing to keep cooking for your boy here in best ball. Him and Kobe White just carrying the team, man. They're just the amount of minutes those guys play just makes everything so much better, right? I mean, per minute basis, they are dog, but man, I'll take 45 minutes and we'll be chilling out there. So the last play, I believe this cash, right? I know he had 10 points, right?
It was close, baby. It was close. The boys in the Discord gave us a good.
It was scary, dude. I think he had 6 and with like a minute left or something, 2 minutes.
Yeah, dude, he had 0 points with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and I didn't watch it all. Someone in my Discords, I literally woke up from a nap, and someone in my Discord, the first thing I saw was, well, it looks like SGA isn't scoring tonight. He had 0 points, and then in the last 5 minutes, he scored 10. So that was a legendary reverse jinx. I was very frustrated at first, and then obviously SGA took care of business. So nice little 2-0 for me here. Yeah, he made this one a little sweaty, but that always makes the win that much better. When you feel the genuine anguish, you feel the sadness of that money coming out of your account, and then you get to magically not only see it go back in, you see it go up by a couple $100. So definitely love this right here. Definitely always going back to SGA in the first quarter against bad teams.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get into the slate now. Let's go. Yeah, some of these games are absolute shit. I'm sorry, I lost my voice for a second just by looking at these two middle games that are 205 and 206 totals.
Yeah.
What the hell? We're seeing 240s in half these games. So, Stu, is there a game that's catching your eye today that you want to talk about here that you're looking forward to watching?
Yeah, I mean, it's just got to be like the Bucks Lakers, right? That's like the one real game we have on the slate. Every other game, it looks like you could just give me like a quick AI simulation and we can move on. A lot of, like you said, obviously the low totals. Although I will say, if there's no Anthony Edwards, then I will watch the Timberwolves with like that 200 total or whatever because he's questionable right now. I don't even know what they're going to do. No Monty Morris. I like saying no Monty Morris and that actually mattering. That's how you know it's bad, right? I mean, we're going to see Jalen McLaughlin highlights. The only thing he's got on Instagram is highlights of him carrying the ball up the floor and passing. So it's one of those things that's like, who's going to play? And if that is the case, then I will absolutely watch that game. But it won't be pretty. It'll be pure, just disgusting mess. Because the Cavs on the other side with no Mitchell, they're also an equally terrible offensive team as well. So it's going to be like Karis LeVert. I had Sam Merrill the other day, 0 for 9.
He was awful.
Oh my God, just brutal. It's one of the, you can't even be mad when he starts 0 for 7 in like 13 minutes. Like the volume was there. He just couldn't buy a bucket. So the more I talk about it, like that Timberwolves Cavs game is probably going to get, the early attention from me just because it's going to be an absolute shit show. And I like those games. I think that's where we can make a little bit of money in the player prop world as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's I'm looking over here as well. Obviously I won't talk about the Bucks game there, but dude, when we talk about some garbage that we want to watch, I want to watch this Blazers team, man. This is because Anthony Simon's my dude. Want to bet on him every time I get a chance to. But also, I mean, you got Anthony Simons playing. Sengun, who's deciding to be, top 3 center right now in the league, just putting up big boy numbers. And it's a late night hammer. What more? That's literally 3 things I want in a game, man. I want that. So I'm excited for that one. I don't think many people will be excited outside of just it being the late game and having some late bets on it. But obviously, I'm a Anthony Simons fan. I want to bet on him as much as humanly possible. And right now, dude, he has the infinite green light. Just straight, hey, go do what you want to do, man. And hopefully we can put up enough points to win these games.
Yeah, no, I mean the Portland for me, I was a little high on Scoot to start the year. That was a bummer, obviously all that. But Simons has been kind of the shining light. Grant still putting in work from time to time down there. It's almost easy to forget about that guy, but he's given you that very silent, like 18 points a night, couple boards, couple assists. The only thing with them is just how close can it stay. For me, that could be a game where like a Cam Whitmore off the bench, like a 20 plus points ladder, let's say they're up by maybe 20 points. There's no need to stretch out, Fred VanVleet and some of those veterans. So I think we could see some extended run from some of these young guys. So that's probably where I would look. I mean, a high paced game environment. I think like a Cam Whitmore is someone I'll be looking to bet on tonight in that one.
Okay, good looks. Definitely a game that it's going to be just like, can Houston just run this up quick? Like, is that first half going to be shit for Portland? You got to hope, because they did it against OKC. Their shots were falling early. They got the lead for a little bit, and they just stayed within 15 points, and then you get SGA playing 35 minutes, right? That's really what you're hoping for here from this OKC side. Keep it within 10, and hopefully at the end you're cashing some props, because these guys have to kind of stay in there, because they're not going to pull their starters, even though they're that bad. They're not going to pull those starters with the game within striking distance like that. So hopefully Anthony Simons goes for a 60 burger like he did a couple days ago, and we can make some money there.
Yeah, 100%. I hope so. When they play, close competitive games, then it's actually one of the more fun teams in the league. It just, you got to get those games for it to, actually hit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to head over to the first play of the day, and it's going to be used to with a half unit spot, plus money spot. Obviously a guy we hear from you a lot from. So let's do it.
Yeah, we're going Bilal Koulibaly over on the Wizards, over 8.5 points, plus 100 over on FanDuel, playing this for a half unit. I saw a lot of people on him last game against the Magic, and it was the right spirit, but in my opinion, that was a pretty bad play, because Bilal, the minutes are what people were looking for in attacking, and that's what we like, right? The 30 minutes per game kind of stable role in like a very unfamiliar and unstable team rotation is valuable, right? And Bilal on the season is averaging 8.2 points per game, right? So that's right around where this number is, and that's in right around 26 minutes per game. But from now on out, he's going to be playing around 30 minutes per game. I would say minimum of 28, 29 minutes per game. But we actually haven't seen any adjustment in the line, mostly in part because the teams he's been playing recently have been absolutely brutal. I mean, one, the Magic was what everyone was playing him against last game. Bilal, if you ask him to shoot, like, we don't want to win this bet on him knocking down jumpers. I want to win this bet on him getting some transition baskets, some offensive rebounds, some putbacks. He's someone that's been very aggressive in that department. He's a driver. He'll take around 3 or 4 3-point attempts per game. But in reality, I never want to depend on him to knock it down from beyond the arc. It's funnily enough, he's actually profiling very similarly to matchups I want to take Denny Advia, his teammate, in, of where I want to get these easy rim baskets. I want to get a transition layup. I want to get, they're using him as the roll man in pick and roll sets a little bit more because they're playing so much small ball that they're using his athleticism, despite the fact that he's only listed by some metrics as a shooting guard. He's 6'9" with a huge wingspan. So the guy can get everywhere. They can use him in a lot of different spots. For me, I think this matchup right here against the Hornets, a team that is really leaning into the small ball identity. Grant Williams playing 30 minutes a game. We got Bridges. We got Miller. We got a lot of different big forwards that they can lean on. I think this is more of an ideal scoring, situation for Bilal. Like when we look back, once again, Cleveland, OKC, Denver, New Orleans, like these are all rough matchups. And it's why the game log is so bad. But in reality, he's coming back from an injury. He's got a good matchup here. He's got a more stable workload than the books are anticipating. And I think this is just good value, getting him at a number that I think he should probably be like 9.5 going forward. So I like that we're getting that plus money. It's good value across the board. I don't think a single book has it worse than minus 110. So wherever you are, you can get a solid price on it. And I just think it's a good way to attack this matchup on a guy that the sports books really don't care about. Like I think there's some solid value on a lot of his stuff. I see Terrence asking 10 points in the 14 and 12. I agree. I think going up like that incrementally is a good spot. The other thing I did is I played it with a block as well, like 10 points in a block. You can get a block at plus money right now, despite the fact that he's come back and he's recorded a block in each of his last 2, right, since being healthy. So for me, it's one of those things. He does a lot of things well. The Hornets are a good matchup because they're very guard heavy. They're going to send a lot of different guys for those pull-up jumpers, and that's where he's going to get those blocks, and that's where he's going to get involved in transition. That defense to offense is something we always like. So a little bit underrated, little under the radar here, but I definitely think Bilal is someone you should look out for tonight.
Yes, sir. Who else is going to score here outside of Kuz, right? It's really Kuz, Denny. It's pretty much it, right?
Sorry. No Shamit as well. They played that loser 18 minutes a game for no reason. Getting him the fuck out of here almost guarantees us 30 minutes per game. It's not what we needed, but it's a cherry on top to just not see that guy in the rotation anymore.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's in there.
Me neither.
Yeah, I'm not going to bash the Wizards more than we do already on this show, so we'll move on. I'm going to move on to my team. This is my only play of the NBA that I like right now for myself right here, and I'm going to be rolling with the Bucks first half over 119 minus 110. I've been having a lot of success with Bucks first halves, whether it be spread or the overs, and I think this is a fantastic spot. I love seeing the Bucks on prime time. They love to show out. You're in LA. What more could you want? We have 2 teams here who in pace rank in the top 5 of the NBA. I know a lot of people think because the Bucks have a pretty decent defense that they play slow. They actually play extremely fast, right? They're playing fast, and I think obviously on their side, on the Lakers side, they're fast enough too to get those transition buckets. A lot of these teams are not able to score on the Bucks because they keep trying to do half-court sets, right? And when you have the length that the Bucks have up down low, it makes it really tough. Even though now I think AD can score on anybody, right? Right now, the way he's playing, I think he's going to be able to score on anybody he wants. Then we look at first half points per game. Lakers are 10th in the NBA at 59.5 points per game. Bucks at 60. I just don't think that the Bucks will be able to guard all of the shooters for the Lakers, right? And we're starting to see that the Bucks numbers on the season are pretty good, defending the 3-point line, which was a surprise to me, 36% on the season. But I'm looking at these recent games, right? The ones that we're talking about with Doc, there's ones in these last couple games when they're playing good teams, right? Because we've had a lot of garbage teams that we've been playing. Last 3 games alone, giving up 43% from 3. That ain't going to work. That is not going to help you here in a spot where you got Reeves, D'Angelo, LeBron. There's a lot of shooters on this team. Both the Bucks and the Lakers shoot 37% from 3-point line, so that's towards the top of the NBA there as well. And on the side for the Bucks, Beasley has just been awesome spotting up. You got Dame up there. Obviously, Giannis is a game removed from his injury as well. So I think we see this game just go fast, real quick. And I think if we're going to see any resemblance of defense, it's going to be coming down the stretch, right? It's going to be coming down when we're trying to slow down the possessions, actually get the win here in a big game, because the Lakers need these games, man. They need to keep winning these games, move up in the West, which at this point is pretty wide open outside of the Nuggets up top, and then a young couple other teams there. But man, I really like this game to just go berserk in the first half. I'm expecting both teams hitting 60 at least. So sign me up. I'm going to roll with the first half over 119.
Yeah, I like this look. You kind of nailed it with how a lot of these games have been trending in like the first half, especially where we see these offensive explosions, and then we see it die down a little bit in like the third quarter and stuff like that. And you never want to get one of those real slow, quarters that kind of kills everything right there. And you mentioned it too with the Lakers shooters right now, the way they're playing, like, you kind of mentioned the Bucks not being able to guard them. Like, yeah, the Bucks do not have great point of attack outside defenders at all. I don't think many teams can. If D'Lo, if Reeves, if these guys, LeBron, all keep shooting this well from beyond the arc, the spacing that they can create is very hard to deal with. So I agree. I think it's a recipe for offense. Just can either of these two kind of slow it down on the other side? Well, who cares? We're betting the over. That's not what we're asking right here. So definitely like the look. It'll be interesting for props too. Even the guy you talked about last game, Bobby Portis, not getting the respect. His number's up to like 14.5 as well. So there's a lot of high numbers. Rui's the guy I've been betting on recently. He's at 14.5. Like the role players are even now getting tough to bet on, which just tells you the sports books are expecting some offense in this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out Bobby P, man. Continues to put up numbers in his very limited amount of minutes, but when he's out there, man, it's electric. Those 24, 28 minutes, he goes hard and obviously puts up big numbers for us off the bench because the Bucks are not very deep of a team at all. So, all right, Stu, on to play number 3. We got 25 live viewers. Hit that like button, guys. We appreciate it. Let's get to your next play here.
Yeah, we're going to a guy that he's been making me a lot of money so far. We're going right back to him. We're going Duncan Robinson over 13.5 points just on FanDuel right now. Minus 120 is what they got. We're playing it for a half unit. I will say the only reason I'm playing it for a half unit is one, it's only FanDuel right now. And two, I want to mess around at the same game parlay and stuff. I could definitely see myself going to a 12-point thing like I did yesterday, which cashed that easily. The reason we're going back to Duncan Robinson is pretty simple. Without Tyler Hero, he solidified himself a very nice workload, not just in volume, where we pretty much got ourselves a guarantee of 10 field goal attempts per game, along with about 6 or 7 3-point attempts per game. And that's kind of on a lower range of outcomes game, right? We're now actually getting him in more of like a secondary ball handling role, essentially, as well, which is hilarious, right? We always think of Duncan Robinson as this spot up shooter, but he's added a little bit more to his game, right? He's scoring more from the mid range. He's getting some layups. We're getting some nice off ball cutting and even actually some surprising on ball creation with a couple of those viral clips that he had against obviously Oscar Thompson. And he had one against Wemby from earlier in the year as well, where he hit a nice
I hit the same move.
Yep.
Like he's got one move in his bag, dog. And I'm like, you didn't watch the tape on his one move and he still fell for it. It's like, damn, bro.
Those are probably the only 2 times he's ever pulled it out since high school. So it's one of those things. It's hard to get that on tape. It's one of those things he keeps to the chest. But either way, seeing the general offensive evolution from someone that can only make spot ups to someone that has a more diverse offensive game is really good, especially obviously when you look at his 3-point number. It's 3.5 right now, right? So when the sports books are asking you to lay a number like that, for me, I'd much rather ask him to make 1 or 2 more buckets in other ways that he's shown recently than just go to the 3-point number, right? And one thing we've talked about all year long, even beyond like this matchup specifically, is with OKC, we love the catch and shoot guys. We love the above the break guys because they have a lot of bodies that they can throw out like a Jimmy Butler in this game, right? Like they have a lot of length. They have a lot of athleticism. Like I think the rim protection is obviously very good, even though people criticize the lack of size. Obviously, they're very good at limiting points in the paint. So for me, when you look at this game schematically, even you take away how great Duncan has been as an outside shooter, this is the kind of player we want to target. We don't want the drive heavy guy that's going to be getting all the attention in the world. I think it's more Jimmy Butler distributing, getting his other guys involved. I actually think Terry Rozier, as much as I hate betting on him, is actually in store for a pretty good game as well. But I think Duncan Robinson, once again, it's just we're going to get those outside attempts. It's the kind of shot profile we love against OKC. And he's got great minutes. He's got great volume. Just going to keep rolling with someone that's been cashing a lot of tickets for us so far.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this is one of those other games that's, 224 total here. That's like a high mark on this slate, which is just weird to say in a Miami Heat game because, my God, dude, some of these games are, like I said, just so low total. This is one of the higher ones, right? New Orleans is 222, Wizards 226, and then you see like sub 210s, dude. Like we just don't see that very much. So I can't believe that I was saying that was one of the higher scoring games projected on the slate. It's just weird. I mean, 2 days ago we were seeing 240s, 245s, and now I'm seeing a 210. Like, what the frick?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I don't bet totals ever. I will say I did bet a little bit on the Wizards Hornets under at the 226, like you mentioned earlier. Well, I like some individual guys in that game, but I like them because I think it's going to be a messy, ugly game, right? I like Bilal and Denny because I think they thrive in those messy and ugly games. I don't see a Hornets Wizards game. Have you watched the recent Hornets? Like these guys, they can barely crack 100 points. You know what I mean? I get the Wizards defense is terrible. No doubt about it. There's no argument there, right? No, we don't even have a center right now, right? But Nick Richards, is he going to be the guy that like punishes us for that? I don't know. There's no easy buckets on either team in this game. I think it's just a completely ugly, grimy game. So I will say I don't give too much total advice here, but I do like the under in the Wizards Hornets game.
Okay, good looks. Definitely something to look at, especially with, I don't even know if I would name everybody on these teams. I thought I usually can name everybody playing on every one of these teams. I don't even know with the Hornets. They probably brought up 6 dudes from the G League, bring them up on this roster because they don't have enough bodies, man. It's just
I'm waiting for Poku minutes, baby. They signed Poku like a week ago, and I don't think I've seen him play yet. Maybe he snuck out there once, but we need Poku back in the NBA. I remember there's a time when people were saying he was going to get traded for a first-round pick, and now obviously he was cut for nothing. So the only reason I remember that is people always were saying he's going to go to the Wizards, which absolutely not. But Bol's doing well now. It might be a great time for these lanky, bench players to finally get their shine.
Well, good luck to them. Hopefully, Poku finds his way back into the league here. But yeah, let's get a quick recap in here. We're 25 minutes in here. We still got 25 of you guys in here. Not as big of a slate as we've had these last couple of rounds, right? We've had 10 gamers and a few other pretty big ones. But let's do a quick recap here, Stu.
Sounds good. Half unit spot, we got Bilal Koulibaly over 8.5 points plus 100 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Then we're staying over there. Duncan Robinson over 13.5 points minus 120, half a unit, FanDuel Sportsbook.
Awesome. We're rolling here with Bucks first half over 119 at minus 110. Only one spot for your boy today. I know there's not a ton of lines out, Stu. Do you have a long shot here? I don't have one, so.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. Though the only bet I have Jaden McDaniel and I have his ladder to 20 points, but they took all of that off of the board when Anthony Edwards is questionable. So the Minnesota Cleveland game, I'll probably have something, but nothing that's available right now. That'll be one of those things we'll have to either circle back to the comments or whenever we post our reminder tweet around 6 p.m. Maybe we'll throw in a couple long shots for you then. But yeah, not too many options available right now.
Yes, sir. Make sure you guys are checking those out, right? Make sure you follow us over on Twitter, have the notification bell on because, we do this at noon, right? And there's a lot more injuries today than there have been. So just make sure you're looking over there to keep your eye out for some more plays. Stu, what do you got for the people before we head out of here? 30 minutes in, 25 people still hanging with us, and we got a nice 7-gamer.
Yeah, I'll say I'm sorry for the sporadic movement. My back has been killing me today, so I'm glad we could get in and out of here. I didn't mean to be, trying to dodge you the whole time or anything. Just trying to stay locked in. I think we got some good picks in here in the books. And yeah, what I will say, you kind of remind me at the end, we're not the kind of place that's ever going to force out those picks, right? There's a million options on the board, right? But we're never just throwing out long shots for the sake of throwing out long shots. When we say them on the show, it's because we like them. And we like it enough to then ask you guys to bet it with us as well. So no reason to be throwing out anything crazy. We'll let you guys know when we have them. And yeah, I think it was a good show today. Some good picks. Excited to hopefully keep that momentum going into next week. Obviously, if you haven't already, check out the Monday show we did with John Legeza, MLB Futures. We went on and on and on, talked about a lot of good stuff. You can obviously hit the quick recap at the end of that one if you just want the bets as well. So would definitely recommend, with MLB right around the corner, you check out that show to get you in the right headspace, maybe make a couple futures, get a couple long shots in, burn up a couple free bets that have been sitting there a while. Definitely some good stuff out right now. Yeah, ready to go.
Yes, sir. That's the perks of us running our own show, man. We don't have anything else, right? It's just us. If we don't want to play, we don't gotta, right? Because I was watching. I don't remember what I was watching. I was watching it. They at my gym. They have some random BetMGM show or whatever up there. People just throwing 5 picks out in this random Timberwolves game, bro. Like half these lines ain't up, right? Second off, you're just forcing 5 bets in a game with a 204 total. Like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, we don't even know who's playing yet. Like, how are you forcing that many bets into a game without even knowing that? So, it's like I said, it's the perks of us doing it on our own here and not really having allegiance to anybody, just ourselves going independent, still doing it. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. If you could hit that like button, we really appreciate it. Coming up on the middle of March here, man. I don't know what we're gonna do during March Madness for your boy. I might not even be looking. I probably won't even look at the NBA once that comes around. I'm gonna be absolutely locked in there. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully we can drop some plays here on the show as well. Have the YouTube play of the day out already. Earlier, 7-1 on our last 8 there. Hopefully we can get another winner today. Some fun games, and hopefully we can get some winners for you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back on Monday with another round. I see some people starting to drop some comments here.
Yeah,
Terrence, I'm sorry, man. I already did mine. The reason why we're a couple minutes late is because I had to bitch out Adam Scott for being the worst player on planet Earth. Hopefully he gets cut from the tour. Honestly, dude, this guy.
We got to get out here ASAP before we restart that.
Yeah,
again.
you don't want to start that back up. Hopefully, I want Adam Scott off the tour. Just get him off the tour. Send him to the DP World Tour, and we're good. We never have to see him again because this dude's absolutely god awful. So, thank you guys. Have a good one. I ain't gonna go much longer on that. So, we'll see you Monday.